Good evening, Abhijji. Am I audible now? Can you hear my voice? Good evening, everybody. Okay, let's start. Now, in this video, I'm going to discuss about the markets, Nifty, Bank Nifty, Dow, Crude, and also take up your queries. So, I already have some queries which have been received here at our end. So, we'll discuss that. Plus, if your query has not been posted earlier, then you can post your query right now in the comment section so that I can discuss your query as well. Okay, so let's start with the view on the Nifty for the next week. Now, here you can see behind me the chart of Nifty future. This is the Nifty future daily chart. As you can see, the study is already plotted. The levels are also plotted, so you can take a screenshot of the screen so that the levels stay with you throughout the week. Okay, now in the last one and a half month, we have already seen the markets move up, and markets have witnessed a strong kind of a move. So from levels of 15,200, the markets have moved up to 17,400. So that has been a very strong kind of a move that the markets have displayed. Now, when you look at the trend, the way the markets have traded for the last 2 weeks. Now I'll just zoom the chart here. Now here you'll see that at current levels, the up move seems to be weakening out. So if you look at these candles, then you'll be able to see that there are more of indecision candles coming up, which also tells us that the up move right now is now not gathering the kind of support that it was gathering at lower levels. Okay, so due to profit booking at higher levels, you're witnessing that kind of an indecision. This also tells us that the market is somewhere near the top. So this is a short-term top for the markets, but the market is somewhere near the top. So as I had already posted to you on WhatsApp, that once this important level of 16,800 would be broken, the Nifty would aim for levels of 17,800. And what was that level? That level is this trend line that you can see, the red color trend line that I've plotted. And this is plotted joining all the tops, right, for the last 7-8 months, right? Okay, so now the reason as to why the market, the strength is now weakening, the reason for that is during the last 2 weeks, you've seen the Nifty open with gap up. So you can see one gap up here, the second gap up here. So gap up and then a bullish trade. So what happens is whenever the market is that trading in this particular way for multiple days, automatically at higher levels the strength starts to weaken, and that is what is right now being observed in the markets. Okay, so this tells us that a short-term correction or a short-term pause is what the markets will go through, and the pause can already be witnessed. So if you look at the current levels, right now the Nifty is trading range bound. So 17,200 has been a support, and 17,500, 17,550 has been a resistance for the Nifty. So it's trading in this kind of a narrow range. So 300-400 point range for the Nifty is what you can see on the chart right now. So the levels, the arrows that I've marked here and the horizontal lines that I've plotted is the level for between which the Nifty is right now trading. So you can see it here. So this is for the last 4-5 trading sessions, but possibly going forward this trend would continue, right? So levels that you have to watch, I've already written the support and the resistance levels here on the chart. Once again, I'll just show it to you. See, these are the support and resistance levels. You can take a screenshot of these levels. Important in this is, what is important? Important in case of resistance, the first resistance, that is 17,514. This is important. And on the downside, the first two levels, the 17,363 and 17,178, these are important support levels. So till the time the Nifty trades between these two, these support and resistance levels highlighted, till then a 300-point trading range would continue to act or continue to be in force. Once these levels are broken, more levels would open up. But the overall looking at the way the market is trading, it seems that after a brief pause at current levels, the Nifty should be able to head higher and higher for levels of what? This particular trend line, that is around 17,000, 1800. That should be the target for the Nifty in the next 2-3 weeks. Got it? So this is the view on the Nifty. Now let's move on to the Bank Nifty. So now I'll open the chart of Bank Nifty near month future. Now here you can see Bank Nifty also, same like Nifty, has displayed a strong kind of move in the last 1.5 months. Here you can see this move here, right from below levels of or from levels of 32,350, the index has moved up to 38,000 levels. Now after this strong kind of a move, you can see that now the strength is diminishing slowly and steadily, and therefore the latest candles, if you see here, what are they? They are all indecision candles. So people are confused, traders are confused whether this uptrend is going to continue or now the market is going to get into a correction. Now in case of Bank Nifty, even if there is a correction, you can see that these levels here, these two horizontal lines, red color horizontal lines, plus the black color trend line that is there. So levels between 36,400 and 36,600, these are going to play important role of an important support for the Bank Nifty. So till the time the Bank Nifty continues to trade about 36,600, 36,400, the bullishness is going to continue. Yes, short-term correction, intra-week correction during the next week cannot be denied, and it is quite possible that we may witness that happening. But as I said, levels of 36,600 and 36,000, so these two levels, 36,000, 36,400, these are important levels, and these are these levels from the plotted here using the red color horizontal lines plus the trend line that I have plotted joining all the tops right from October of 2021. Okay, so now for the next week, so looking at the short-term chart, Bank Nifty also is range bound. I will zoom the chart again so to show you that. 1 second. So if you see the latest trade that is there on the Bank Nifty, you can see that Bank Nifty too, same like the Nifty, is range bound, and the range is between these levels. See now this horizontal line that I have plotted, somewhere around 37,200, 37,300, and that is the support on the upside. This level here of 38,300 and 38,300 is the resistance. So Bank Nifty, same like Nifty, Bank Nifty also possibly would trade between these two levels. Range bound trade is quite possible, and then maybe a further trend can be decided. So the next 2 weeks are going to be when you will see the markets facing pressure at higher levels. Got it? This is Bank Nifty. Now for levels, you can take a screenshot of these levels that I've mentioned here. I will also post them to you on WhatsApp. So even if you miss taking a screenshot, you'll get those levels on WhatsApp as well. Okay, so support and resistance levels are mentioned here. Okay, now next is the Dow Jones chart. So this is the exchange for NYSE, that is New York Stock Exchange, and we're just trying to get reference as to what's happening in the American markets. Okay, so now if you look at the American markets as well, they also are consolidating. So a similar kind of a trade or trend which has been seen in our markets also, the same can be seen here in the American market. So for the last 5-6 trading sessions, you can see the Dow Jones is stuck in a very narrow range. So if I have to plot this horizontal line here, so this has been the support. So 32,400 has been the support, and on the upside 33,000 has been the resistance. So the Dow Jones also is stuck in a 600 point range. Undercurrent in this market also has been positive. So this is positive. So till the time this market continues to trade in a range, our markets will also trend to follow the same kind of a trend. Until unless we come across some kind of a earning number which is extremely positive or extremely negative, only in that case our markets would try and trend for themselves or decouple from the rest of the markets and then start a trend of their own. Okay, next is the crude oil chart. Now this chart is for NYMEX crude which trades in American dollars on the New York Mercantile Exchange. Now as you can see, crude has been trending downwards. So you can clearly see for the last 1.5 months, the trend has been down, and from levels of $125 per barrel, the price of crude has come down to $88-89 per barrel. So that has been a good kind of correction, and this is an important factor for inflation as well. So as you have heard last week, the RBI governor talk about inflation, and inflation has been a concern in most of the global economies in the world. So crude is one of the factors for that, and the easing of price on this chart is a sign of relief, at least a first indication of positive things to happen. Now, one important thing which can be seen on this chart is this level of 87. As you can see, this level of 87 is going to act as a support for the price of crude. So till the time the price of crude manages to sustain above 87, there are chances that the price bounces back from here to levels of 9,500. That is quite possible. So it is very important. So going forward, for the markets to feel happy, for the in general economy to start feeling happy, it is important that the price of crude breaks below this level of 87. So if it breaks below level of 87, then a steady downward trend would start, and which can bring the crude price down to levels of $74 or $70, even lower than that. So 87 is a level which we need to watch for crude. You can do it on your own as well. So whenever crude price starts falling below levels of 87, the markets would start feeling happy, right? So levels, the rest of the levels are already mentioned on the chart. Great. So now I have discussed Nifty, Bank Nifty, Dow, and as well as crude. Okay, now let's start with your queries. So let me start first with the queries that have been posted earlier. Now this first query is from Chanchal Ahuja ji, and he's asking about Reliance and Bank of Maharashtra. So Chanchal Ahuja ji, if you have joined me in this session, you can I'm discussing your query right now. This is the chart of Reliance. Now we're looking at the long-term chart of Reliance. So we'll start with the long-term chart and then we'll go on to the short-term chart as well. Okay, Chanchal, if you see overall trend for Reliance is up. So long-term trend in case of Reliance is up. So that is a positive. Now, if you look at these black color horizontal lines that I have plotted, these are good kind of support levels, as you can see. So for the last approximately 8 to 10 months, or 1 year, these levels have been acting as a support. So this is positive. Now these levels are what? 2300 to 2370. These are support levels. So till the time the price sustains above these levels, there is nothing to worry. Now, the only thing is that after witnessing a strong kind of an uptrend for the last few years, it is quite possible that the stock may consolidate at current levels. So 2300 could be a support and 2800 could be a resistance. So 500-point range for Reliance going forward for the next few months is quite possible. And now, as you already know, that the 5G spectrum allocation auction has already been done, and they are saying that by October 5G services are going to be rolled out. So for the next few months, quite possibly till there is uncertainty, till we don't have clarity as to how Reliance is going to go forward with this new development, till that time we may see the stock consolidating at these levels, and then maybe a further direction can be decided. So levels for you to watch are 2300 and 2370, which are support levels, and on the upside there is a resistance between 2700 and 2800. So currently it is range bound. Now let me go to the short-term chart. So short-term chart will show us these same levels in a more detailed fashion. See, now here you can see these levels. So levels of 2300 and 2370, as you can see, the stock has managed to find support here multiple times. See here, multiple times the stock has found support. So 2300 and 2370, this is the immediate support band for the stock, and the stock has been trending or has been consolidating for the last 4-5 months. So you can see this up move, this down move, this up move, this down move, again a possible this thing. So this consolidation at these levels will continue, right? This is your view on Reliance for you. Your second query was on Bank of Maharashtra. Now, if you look at most of the banking stocks have been showing a good kind of an undercurrent on the charts, but somehow Bank of Maharashtra is missing that kind of an undercurrent, as you can see here. Yes, it has found support, no doubt about it. Now let me plot a horizontal line here. So around 15 rupees, there is a support for the stock, no doubt about it. But somehow what happens is, if the stock is respecting a support level or trading at a support level, then automatically the stock would also attract buying support, and which can take the stock up. But somehow in this case, the stock has managed to find support at around that levels of 15, but it is not able to sustain at higher levels. So you can see whenever it tries to move up, these candles, for example, these two candles, 19 and 20 rupees, there is selling band. Then even here you can see there is a complete selling band between 22 and 23, and then there is a big selling band here between 26 and 32. So there are plenty of resistances for this stock to break past. Only then, so once this complete resistance or the supply zone is taken out, only then we can see a sustained kind of an up move in this particular stock. And as you can see, for the last few years, right, from not few years, from 2011, even maybe before that, yeah, okay, but a prominent, so right from 2007, after making that high around levels of 96, 97, this was Jan of 2008, the stock has been trending downwards, as you can see. So it's in a clear downtrend, continuously making lower tops, lower bottoms. Now this level of 15 is something which you need to watch. If you're holding position in this stock, then have a stop loss at 14 rupees 50 paise. That is important, because this important support of 15 rupees, if that breaks, then the stock would weaken further, right? On upsides, we can take a review. So whenever the stock manages to break past levels of 2022, you can ask me again and we'll do a review on it one more time, right? This is view on Bank of Maharashtra. So two stocks that we discussed, Chanchalji, for you, Reliance and Bank of Maharashtra. Okay, next query is asked by Sanjay Maniji, and he's asking about Vaibhav Global. Sanjay ji, an equal and opposite reaction as we can see in this case. So a strong kind of an up move, a straight kind of a move up, and a equal and opposite reaction downwards as well. Okay, now at current levels, the stock is somehow trying to find support here at around levels of 287. So that is a positive sign. So if you're holding this stock, I would suggest a stop loss of 285 for you. See, for the last few, now this is a weekly chart. So for the last few weeks, as you can see here on the chart, for the last few weeks, the price has managed to find support here at 287, right? So this level of 287 is very important. Have a stop loss at 285 and hold. On the upside, there is also a resistance here, as you can see. So this is a resistance, this is a resistance. What are these levels? This level of 360. So 360 and 287, 290 can possibly be the range for the stock right now. After the strong kind of a sell-off that the stock has already witnessed, I think before an up move starts, the stock would try and create a base for itself between these levels. So between levels of 287 and 360, the stock may consolidate between these two levels, and then maybe a future trend can develop. But right now, for your existing position, I would suggest you to hold with a stop loss at 285. If your query is related to getting into a new trade, then right now the stock is not giving us any kind of a signal which tells us that a fresh trade should be entered. Right? This is about Weber Global. Your next query is about Balrampur Chini. This is Balrampur Chini. This is the all-time chart of Balrampur Chini. Now let me zoom. Now see, what has happened is the stock was trading very strong, and so between 2020 and 2022, the stock displayed a strong kind of a move from levels of 60. The stock went up to levels of 500. So this is quite a good kind of return. So 5-6 times of return that the stock generated in 2 years. And that is the reason as to why the stock is going through the recent correction or consolidation. How long can this consolidation or correction continue? As I always suggest, this correction consolidation is already gone through for the last 1 year, and it can continue for another 2 years. That is quite possible. So support level is at around levels of 337 and levels of 300. If you have an existing position, hold it with a stop loss at 297, or whenever the price moves up, try and exit the stock, because this stock is going to go through a consolidation, and this consolidation will last for another 2 years, which is quite possible. And the reason behind this is the 5 to 6 times return that the stock has already generated in the last 2 years, and due to that, the stock may witness the consolidation or correction going forward. And your last query is related to Andhra Petro. Sanjay, this is the chart for Andhra Petro, as you can see. In this case, also a strong kind of an up move, and therefore the strong kind of a correction. Now at current levels, the stock also has a support. This support comes in from the resistances that the stock had made in 2018 and 19. I will just highlight the horizontal lines that I have plotted so that they are clearly visible. So levels of 78 and 87 are going to play the role of a support here. As you can see, this level in the past, it has acted as a resistance, as you can see. 2018, 2019, and now the same level is acting as a support as well. So this is a positive. If you're holding stock, then hold it with a stop loss at 76. The stock, as the stock is trading on support, ideally it should manage to gather buying interest, but then if you look at volumes, that seems to be missing. So if you look at volumes here, the volumes are also very low, but the positive that at least people are respecting that support level, and therefore there is no fresh selling that is happening at that support level. So quite possibly going forward, yes, there may be buying interest which may come in, and then the stock can move up, but this is again something which may happen or which may not happen, and that's the reason why you need to have an stop loss for your existing position. Have a stop loss at levels of 76 and continue to hold. Whenever you see action returning to this stock, at that time you can ask me the query related to this stock one more time, and we will discuss the view again, right? So these were your queries related to Vaibhav Global, Balrampur Chini, and Andhra Petro. Okay, next query is put forth by Jatin Patel ji, and this query is about Jubilant Ingrevia. Oops. Okay, now this is the chart for Jubilant Ingrevia. Jatin ji, as you can see this chart here, now this is a daily chart. Now the two horizontal lines that I have plotted are very important levels. And why are they important? They are important because in the past, here you can see, in June and July of 21, this level has acted as a support. After taking support here, the stock managed to move up, a strong kind of a move. Now after this up move, you can see a strong kind of sell-off also was witnessed. But then where did the sell-off get arrested? At these two horizontal lines. So 519 and 539. These are very important levels which have acted as a support in the past, and during the recent move also acted as a resistance. So last month or this month itself, the price tried to move above this level of 519 and 539, but somehow the price failed to sustain above it. I'll just write it down: 519 and 539. So this is a very important band for the stock going forward. Now if you're holding a position in this stock, then I would suggest you to exit the trade. Why? Because the stock did not sustain above these levels. The stock has fallen down again, and therefore it is better to exit. If your query is related to getting into a fresh trade, then I would suggest you to wait for the stock to generate a fresh breakout above these levels, and whenever that happens, at that time you can think of getting into a fresh trade, or you can ask me again and I will help you with the view. Right, this is Jubilant Ingrevia. Your second query is related to Time Technoplast. Okay, now this is the chart of Time Technoplast. Now this is a monthly chart of Time Technoplast. Okay, now if you look at this chart, I'll just plot some levels here so that you get to know the view immediately. So I've plotted a horizontal level at a level of 94, horizontal line at the level of 94, and one level I'll plot below that. This is level of 80. Okay, so these are going to act as support, and on the upside, let's plot resistance as well. So resistance is at 118. Right? So 94 and 80 is a support for the stock, and a level of 118 is the resistance for the stock. Let me highlight them with arrows as well. So these are support levels and this is the resistance for the stock. Now for the last this is the 4th month that the stock has been consolidating or trading between level of 94 and 118. Now when will the fresh move start? So if you're having a position in the stock, continue to hold. The stop loss for trade would be around 78 levels. When will a fresh move start? A fresh move will start when the stock manages to break past the current consolidation that the stock is going through. So once the stock manages to break past 118, then the stock will aim for levels of these levels of what? 160, 65. That would be the next target for the stock. So wait for the stock to generate a breakout. But the position that you're holding should also have a stop loss, and that stop loss for this particular trade would be at levels of 78. Right? Please take this into account. Okay, so these were your queries, Jatinji, Jubilant Ingrevia and Time Technoplast. Next query is put forth by Subhash Jainji, and he's asking about Easy My Trip. Subhashji, if you look at this chart, the stock has been consolidating. So a positive that we can see is consolidation uptrend. This has been the way the stock has been performing, and when we look at the long-term chart, the stock has been a steady uptrend. So that also is a positive, right? Now when I come to a weekly or a daily chart, now here you will be able to see the consolidation, as I said. So the stock has been moving up with consolidations. Here you can see this was the initial consolidation that the stock went through, then an up move. After that again, if you look at the current if you look at this current consolidation, the current phase, the stock is going through a consolidation, right? So the stock has to break past this consolidation for us to decide further targets or decide the plan of action. But right now, because the stock is consolidating, you can continue to hold. Your stop loss for trade would be below this support level of 338. So your 335 would be a stop loss for your trade. And when would the next fresh action start? Fresh action would start once the stock manages to break past this resistance band, which would exit between levels of 440 and level of 476. So these two horizontal red lines that I've plotted, once the stock breaks past 441, 476, that is when a fresh move would start, which then would help the stock aim for levels of 560, 580 as well. But for your existing position, have a stop loss at 335. Okay, next query is Aditya Birla Fashion. Okay. Okay, this stock also, if you see this chart here, for the last 7-8 months, the stock has been consolidating. You can see the latest chart here. So overall a range bound kind of a trade, as you can see. So the price went up, but then after that the price has been trading in a consolidation. So here the price had broken support, but again it moved up. So basically it's going through an indecision kind of a phase, and these are rough levels for the stock. So 310 and 230, that is a rough range for the stock. The stock needs to break past these levels for fresh actions to start. If you're holding position, then have a stop loss for trade at 220 rupees. So hold with the stop loss at 220. Once the stock manages to break past levels of 310, 320, we can decide higher targets as well. So I would suggest you to ask me about this stock one more time once that breakout happens. Okay, fine. So these were your queries that were posted. Okay, now to your queries that you have posted in the comment section. Let me start with the first query. Anandhuji is asking about HPCL. Okay, let's talk about HPCL. Let's see the chart of HPCL. So Anandhuji, if you are connected, we are discussing your query right now. This is a chart of HPCL, Hindustan Petroleum. Now, on the long-term chart, you can see that the stock is, for the last 4 years, has been trading range-bound, as you can see here. So this has been the support, this has been the resistance, and here you can see. So this is the way the stock has been trading for the last 4 years, right? So long-term trend is range-bound. Now, let's look at the short-term chart. Okay. Now on the short-term chart, here you can see that the stock has been facing resistance at these levels, 246, 250. I'll just plot these horizontal lines so that you understand. Okay, 246 and 249 has been a resistance for the stock for the last 3 years. 246 and 249. Currently, the stock has closed above this resistance band, no doubt about it. But looking at the volume, somehow the volumes are not that giving me that kind of a comfort. So what's this level of 246 and 249? If the stock manages to trade above this level of 246 and 249, the horizontal lines that we have plotted, then possibly the stock would aim for higher levels. And which levels would those be? That will be this level directly, 275. So above 249, the stock would aim for levels of 270, 275. If you already have a long position, then have a stop loss here at two levels of 240. So 240 should be your stop loss for a long trade or a long position that you're holding. And on the upside, the stock can aim for levels of 270 and 275. The bullish view would fail going forward if the stock fails to sustain above this level of 246 and 249 and it falls below 246, then this bullish view would fail, in which case you should exit. And that's the reason why I'm suggesting a stop loss at 240, right? This is your query related to Ananduji. This is your query related to HPCL. Okay, next query is put forth by Nikunj Patel ji, and Nikunj Patel ji is asking about Polyplex. Nikunj Patel ji, if you're seeing this video, then you'll find that this chart of Polyplex, the stock in the last 2 years from levels of 200 has gone up to levels of 2,800. So that is a just imagine what kind of 14 times the stock has gone up. So 14 times is the return that the stock has generated, and that's the reason why the stock possibly going forward will go through a consolidation, and this consolidation is going to be 1 to 3 years. So another 2.5 to 3 years of consolidation is quite possible in this stock. And the levels that you need to watch, 1800, 1900 is going to be the support, and on the upside 2600 to 2800 is going to be the resistance for the stock. So possibly the stock is going to trade between these levels. If you are holding or if you are having a position in this stock, I would suggest that you exit the trade and you review the stock after a consolidation, because the next few months are going to be of consolidation in this particular counter. Okay, so consolidation view in Polyplex. Second is IRCTC. Okay, second stock is IRCTC. Okay, IRCTC we discussed during the last live session as well. IRCTC has managed to find support, and from there it has also managed to bounce back. So this level of 557, 550 is a good kind of support for the stock and has managed to move up. Now, till what levels will the stock move up to? So quite possibly 650 to 710 should be the upside target for this stock in the current move. Why? Because there's a resistance again here, this resistance at around 710, as you can see. So this level is very important. So the current momentum can help the stock go up to this level, but then it will face resistance and it may continue to trade between these two levels. So 557, 550 is the support for the stock, 650 and 710 is the resistance for the stock. This is the view on IRCTC for now. Make use of these levels. Your third stock is BSE, that is Bombay Stock Exchange. Bombay Stock Exchange also has witnessed a strong kind of an up move. Okay, so between 2020 and 2022, in this case also, you will be able to see a strong kind of an up move. Let me highlight it with an arrow. You can see from 100 rupees, the stock went up to 1000 rupees. So 10 time kind of a return that was generated. And that is what is making the stock go through a consolidation. And quite possibly, this consolidation is going to last for some more months. So after a stock generates such kind of a return, 5 times, 10 times of return, the consolidation that the stock witnesses is for a minimum period of 1 year and a maximum period of 3 years. At times it can also be more, but 1 to 3 years is what has normally been observed in all the good counters or all the good stocks. So BSE is one more stock which is going to go through a consolidation. Next is GNFC, Gujarat Narmada Fertilizers and Chemicals. Okay, fertilizer stocks have been witnessing strong kind of an undercurrent. This stock, looking on the long-term chart, has been trading in a steady up move, making higher tops, higher bottoms. So that is a positive. But in this case as well, the stock has moved from 100 rupees to 900 rupees in the last 2 years, and that is the reason as to why I think the stock will go through a consolidation, and this consolidation may continue for 1 to 3 years. So on the lower side, it is 1 year. So the stock has already gone through this consolidation for the last 5 months. Quite possibly another 6-7 months of consolidation is something which you have to be ready for. This is Gujarat Narmada Fertilizer, GNFC. Your next stock is Deepak Fertilizers. Deepak Fertilizers has been displaying strong kind of a traction on the charts. Let's see the chart. Deepak Fertilizers. Okay, this is Deepak Fertilizers. As you can see, the stock has been witnessing strong kind of traction on the charts. It has been moving up, but one more thing which you need to take into account is that in this case also, the stock from levels of, what was this level? Let me tell you. So from levels of from levels of 57.60, from 60 rupees, the stock has gone up to 850 rupees. So though there is a strong undercurrent that has been witnessed in this stock, the stock will find difficult for itself to sustain at higher levels, and the same can be seen in this candle that you can see here. So the stock was consolidating, then the stock displayed a strong move up, but then at higher levels it is not gathering the same kind of buying interest which was witnessed earlier. and the same thing can be seen here at the bottom in form of the diminishing volumes. So the volumes, as the price is moving up, the volumes are going down, which is not a positive sign. So if you're holding stock or if you're having position in this stock, I would suggest you do profit booking. It is very important. As you can see, the volumes are going down, which also tells us that the stock is now going to top out somewhere near here. Okay, same way, same view, this stock as well. Yes, it may have a strong undercurrent, no doubt about it, but after displaying a move like this 60 to 850, which is 12-14 times of gains in 2 years, the stock has to go through a consolidation. So this stock also is going to go through a consolidation. So Nikunj Patelji, all the stocks that you asked me, Polyplex, IRCTC, BAC, GNFC, and Deepak Fertilizers. The view on all these stocks is consolidation going forward. Try and exit all whatever stocks that you can. Okay. Next query is put forth by Sanmukh Patelji, and he's asking about SPIC. Okay, Sanmukh Patelji, we discussed SPIC last time as well in the last live session that I did. Okay, now if you look at this chart, you'll find that the stock it has faced resistance at higher levels. So all these resistance, so the horizontal lines that I've plotted is a complete resistance band for the stock. And if you look at this topmost candle here, 3 months back, the stock went up to levels of 90, but if you look at this candle, the stock failed to sustain at higher levels and the price has come down. So this is not a positive thing. Okay, so this tells me that there is selling pressure at higher levels. Now I've zoomed the chart so that you can see it clearly. See, this tells us that there is selling pressure in this stock. All these candles are telling that there is selling pressure in the stock. So right from levels of 65 to levels of 90, there is a supply zone in this stock, and the stock has to break past above this supply zone. Only then the stock will find strength coming back. Now on the lower side, the stock is also attracting support. So levels of 45 and 40 are support levels. Now if you're holding a position in this stock, then have a stop loss below this support level. So have a stop loss at 38 and continue to hold. As the stock moves up to levels of 60, 65, you can ask me again, or you can also do partial profit booking, because this level of 65 to 90 is a strong supply zone. Please understand this, right? So right now, if you're holding, have a stop loss at 38. So this was your query related to SPIC, Sanmukh Patelji. Next query is put forth by Suresh Ji, and he's asking about Shriram Transport Finance. Now see, this is the Suresh Ji, this is the long-term chart of Shriram Transport Finance. Now, as you can see on this chart, this is the long-term chart. So this is a monthly chart of the stock. So see, these are all resistance levels. These are all complete supply zone for the stock. As you can see, this level here. So between 1500 and 1700, there is a big kind of a supply zone, and from 2018, the stock has not managed to break past this resistance, right? So the stock has now approached this resistance. In the long term, when will the stock again manage to regain strength in the long term? Only once the stock manages to break past this resistance. As you can see, it is a 4-5 year old resistance band or a supply zone that you can see on the chart, correct? Okay, now coming to the short term chart. In the short term chart, the stock recently the stock managed to break past this resistance here. So there was a resistance at around levels of 1304 and 1325, the horizontal lines that I have plotted. And once this resistance was broken, the stock also displayed a good kind of a move in the immediate short term, right? Okay, so this, but then this move is already done. So 1325 and 1305 is a support level for the stock right now. If this support is respected, quite possibly the stock may display a bounce back one more time to levels of 1450 and 1500. Excuse me. So that is quite possible. But remember, on the long-term charts, the stock is approaching a major supply zone, a major resistance. Got it? This is SR Transport Finance. Then the next query is put forth by Ajit Ji, and he's asking about Minda Corp. Ajit Ji, this is the chart of Minda Corp. Let me make it monthly. So Minda Corp also in the last 2 years has displayed a strong kind of an up move. You can see from 60 rupees the stock went up to 280 rupees, 6-7 times, 4 to 5 times of return that the stock managed to generate. And right now what is happening? Right now, consolidation. So this is a complete resistance, you can say, supply zone here. And this is a support band, as you can see. 180 and 250 is the level that you need to watch. The stock is expected to trade between these levels for the next few months. So if you are holding a position, have a stop loss at 170, that is below this consolidation that the stock is trading in. When will a fresh move start? A fresh move will start only once the stock manages to break past this supply zone between 250 and 280. This is Minda Corp, consolidation coming forward. So for the next few months, the stock is going to witness a consolidation, or is going to go through a consolidation. Please make up your mind that the stock is not going to move anywhere. Okay, next query is Babulal Ji is asking about Tata Motors. Okay, let's check. Tata Motors long-term view and target, please. Long-term view, Babulal, if you look at this chart, now this is a monthly chart. So long-term chart for the stock. Now if you see this chart, you will understand that right from 2015, these levels have been acting as resistance. Now I can also plot a trend line like this, okay, which the price has been respecting. So these are resistance levels. So above 500, there is a strong kind of a supply zone in this stock. Now when will we be able to decide target for this stock? A target can be decided only once the stock manages to break past this resistance. Now this trend line is a long-term trend line. Now this trend line has been in force for the last 7 years. Right from 2015, this level has been acting as a resistance. This trend line has been playing the role of a resistance. So once this resistance is broken, at that moment, yes, we can decide a target as well. But right now, you cannot decide a target for the long-term target for the stock. Support for the stock is at levels of 450 and 460, and resistance is at levels of 500. So the stock is range bound between a level of 50 points between 450 and 500 for now. Long-term target can be decided once a breakout above this level happens. Got it? So whenever that happens, you can again ask me and we can discuss about the target as well. Okay, so this was your query related to Tata Motors. Lalit Ji is asking about Scan Steel. Lalit Ji, this is the chart of Scan Steel. As you can see, for the last 10 years, the stock has not done anything. It is trading flat. See, this is the resistance around levels of 60-65 is the resistance. So the stock has been, for the last 10 years, the stock has been trading between this band, you can see. So we will be able to discuss about this stock once the stock manages to break past this level of 60-65. Whenever that happens, you can ask me again and we'll discuss a view on this. But right now the stock is in a formation, and it may continue to, and it may continue for some more years as well. So right now you should not be interested in this stock. You should be interested only once a breakout happens. Okay, next query, Nilesh ji is asking about LTI. What is the target in LTI? Okay, let's see. What is LTI doing? Okay, Nilesh ji, let's plot support and resistance levels. Now, as you can see, there's an immediate resistance at the current levels. This resistance comes in at levels of 4,974. So 4,900 and 5,000 is a resistance for the stock. The stock has seen a strong kind of a move in the last 1 month. So from levels of 3,900, the stock has moved up to levels of 4,900. Now at current levels, I would not avoid to get into a fresh trade. Why? Because the stock is trading just below a major resistance, as you can see. So this is a short-term resistance, as you can see here. Wait for this resistance to break and then we can review for higher targets. But for now, I think the move that the stock has witnessed has reached its target, and this is time to book profits in case of LTI. Nilesh ji, this is your query related to LTI. Okay, next query is put forth by Hfcl Dhamiji and is asking about Hfcl. Hfcl Dhamiji, if you're able to see this chart, this is Hfcl monthly chart. Now see what has happened is between 2020 and 2022, the stock displayed a strong kind of a move up. Okay, so this took the stock up from levels of 10 rupees to highs of 95-100 rupees. So 10 times of return that was generated between 2 years. Now if you look at all these candles here, you can see these candles with sticks on their head. What do they tell? They tell that the price had gone to that level. So if you look at this particular candle here, the price had gone to level of 100, but it failed to sustain at 100 and it came back down and closed below 80 rupees. So it tells us that this band above 80 till 100, there is a major supply zone here. There is a major supply zone here. You're getting my point? A major supply zone. Now, on the lower side, around levels of 50-55, there is a support as well. So that is positive. But right now, this tells me that the stock for the next few months, until and unless it manages to break past that major supply zone, it is going to go through a consolidation, and this consolidation is going to be between levels of 50-55, which is going to be a support, and on the upside 80 to 100, which is going to act as a resistance. So next few months of consolidation is what is expected in Hfcl. Whenever going forward the stock manages to display a strong kind of a breakout above levels of above this resistance band between 80 and 100, that is the time when you can ask me again for higher targets. We will review the stock and we will discuss about higher targets as well. But right now, be prepared for a consolidation that is expected to happen in this stock going forward. Okay, great. Welcome. Okay, so this was your query. Now, Now usually what I do is I do these live sessions usually on weekends, so that everybody is free to join in and get their query solved. Now, to get your query solved, there's a simple process that you have to follow. I'll just explain you this process here. Now, see, what you have to do is you have to go to our website. Here you can see the website. When you go to our website, this is the home page. Okay, now when you go to the home page, what you have to do, on the right hand top, here you can see Ask Mandar. Now you have to go to this Ask Mandar button. I will just highlight this. See this one, Ask Mandar button. So you go to this Ask Mandar button, and what you do is you can post your queries. So just click on Ask Mandar, write in your name, email address, mobile number, WhatsApp number, and the queries that you have, query 1, query 2, and you can submit. So what happens is your query is received at our end. Once it is received at our end, I can immediately get that query solved as soon as I start this session, and you don't have to wait for all the initial queries to get solved, so that I can come back to the comment section and then start solving your queries. So if you follow this process, I'm sure all your queries will get solved immediately. So do visit our website precisiontechnicals.com or precisiontechnicals.in. Both the URLs work, and go to the Ask Mandar button and then post your query. Right? If you have not subscribed to the channel, do subscribe to the channel and also press the bell icon, so that whenever I do a live session like this, you are immediately notified. Whenever I post an interesting video about any good kind of an opportunity, you are immediately notified about it. Okay, so if I have missed any of your queries in this session, then apologies for that, but don't feel bad. I will solve your queries. You can follow the process that I just explained. Post in your query will be received at our end, and I will ensure that I solve that query in the next session. You join me in this session, therefore thank you very much and have a great weekend. Until the next session, goodbye.